Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career, with a little self-help along the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the world. This is Philip Wilkerson back with another episode of Positive Philter. I'm joined by a special guest. I'm joined by Dr. Michelle Ryan. Now, as you know, I am the unofficial mayor of Mason as a facetious joke, but I seriously am a member of the College of Education and Human Development Alumni Chapter. And because of that space, I get to connect with other alum. And now I have Michelle on my podcast, who is the president of the College of Science Alumni Chapter. And so just want to ask her about her involvement with alumni and this space and just have a great episode. But Michelle, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you, Philip. It's a real pleasure and honor to be a part of your podcast series. And I've been looking forward to sitting down and talking to you about some of our collective experiences as well as activities in our respective college chapters, as well as the greater George Mason University Alumni Association. So super proud to be a part of your conversation and dialogue. Thank you so much.
I love it. I'm smiling ear to ear. But, maybe we'll just do like this and get right to the meat and potatoes. But Tell us a little bit about your background getting to your Mason journey, and then we'll talk a little bit about your alumni journey.
Sure, certainly. I came to George Mason looking for an opportunity to change my career path. I worked in systems integration and systems analysis type work for government contracting firms in civilian and defense spaces for close to 20 years.
Okay.
And a lot of business system modernization work under my belt. But during the weekends and the evenings, what I was doing is I was actually volunteering out in the environment, doing a lot of water quality testing, learning good field techniques, going to environmental conferences, learning about biodiversity, doing bio blitzes, really experiencing the environment. And at some juncture in my life, I sat back and thought, I'm having a lot of fun here
With the sciences.
Okay. But my day job didn't involve that at all.
Gotcha.
George Mason was my entree into changing the trajectory of my career. I'm super proud of that. I got into the Environmental Science and Policy Department and studied under Dr. Dan Scleroux.
Hey, when I heard about water and I heard about water waste, I literally was going to go to drop Dr. Dan. But you already went to it because if you're going to talk about someone that's known in the community, College of Science, that's the man.
He is an amazing advisor and good colleague, as well as a friend of mine, and was instrumental in really bringing me into the program in the Environmental Science and Policy Department, where I was studied under him. Doing invasive species work and with a citizen science background.
Gotcha.
I took my expertise being a volunteer for many years in the environment space, and then combining it with my interest in figuring out what the impacts were for invasive species in our area.
So one thing I have a question that to kind of tail into that was, what were some of those volunteer experiences before your program that you were doing? Was it like Habitat for Humanity? I'm just making organizations.
Organizations. I worked a lot through the National Aquarium in Baltimore.
Okay.
I was a part of the volunteer dive team there and did a lot of outreach, education, environmental education to the public, as well as outreach in some of their. They actually have projects away from the aquarium. They do work with Poplar Island, which is a man-made created island used for dredge for the channels there for shipping, and they've restored that area for habitat. So I did a lot of plantings work. I also work with Nature Conservancy and some of the projects that they've done on Eastern Shore.
So you like getting out in the nature?
I was out all the time.
Are you a water baby? Do you like the water?
I absolutely. I love the water.
I'm
a scuba diver. I spend a lot of time underwater.
So your lane was,
I was
think
all
about nature.
over.
Some people, I love trees, others, but I'm hearing water.
Water,
it must have been water.
Aquarium. So through the work that I did, I studied a non-native species of snails, freshwater snails called Belemnia chinensis, or mystery snails. You probably maybe have seen them if you've been in and around some of the local parks
Okay,
around
yeah.
like Mason Neck, very
Okay,
large
okay,
snails.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
okay.
snail shells. Anyway, so that my research,
Volunteer work, yeah.
volunteer work, my research that I did here at George Mason then set me up for the career path that I'm in today. I work as an environmental scientist for an engineering
There it
firm
is, okay.
and in the water space, actually.
Boom.
So I work with my colleagues on watershed planning and studies, hydrology studies, outreach studies, kind of
Yeah,
reconnecting me with the community work that I
yeah,
did
yeah.
previously. It's been a really tremendous experience, and George Mason was the institution that enabled me to get the change in
That
career,
pivot,
the
pivot.
pivot, and very flexible. I mean, I will say there were other schools that I could have gone to, but I found that the George Mason accepted me as a student in terms of what I was trying to set my goals towards,
Yeah.
and a mid-career change that what worked very well for my schedule.
Now, what was the actual program? Was it a master's or doctoral program? Because I know I called you good doctor, but
it
was
was
it
a
a master's
it
program? What
was
was
a
it?
doctoral program.
So what was the 2 degrees before that for this pivot? Because we can see
Oh,
the
okay.
difference.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm just
So,
curious. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, sure, sure. So I started out my academic journey as an economics major,
Okay. All right.
and I graduated with a bachelor's of arts in economics and
Yeah.
government.
Yeah.
And I moved on. Actually, it was during a time in the early 1990s. I'm going to date myself
Okay.
here a bit, but in the 1990s when there weren't a lot of job opportunities for recent college graduates, so I really went into graduate school right then and there. I went to
Yeah.
George Washington University to get my MBA.
In economics?
Actually, it
Oh,
was
MBA. Oh, sorry,
MBA,
MBA.
yeah,
Sorry,
but
business. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
My
Listen.
focus area was in international business because
So
I
boom,
thought I
boom,
was
boom.
going to be
Yeah.
oriented myself to the international business community. But as it turned out, I
Science
worked.
was knocking on the door.
Science
Got
was
it.
in the background.
I'm.
But my day job was spent doing systems analysis work. I eventually joined with a management company that contracted with the government
Mm.
for a lot of different types of projects. But again, business system modernization,
Yeah.
systems
Science. Yeah.
integration, that
Yeah.
really again wasn't a part. So um, several
Yeah.
years went by and I found like, hey,
Yeah.
this isn't really doing it for me. I
It's
started reaching out into
it's
the
not lighting you
volunteer,
up.
not,
Okay.
not so I went to night school actually at Virginia Tech first,
Mm-hmm.
at the one of the campuses here in
Yeah.
Northern Virginia. Yeah,
That one up in Falls Church. Yeah.
Falls Church, yeah,
So
and they had a
again, adult learning.
master's
Yeah.
in natural resources, so I
Yeah.
went and pursued that, and was really looking then to like maybe further my education, but get more into the science background.
Yes.
And had that pivotal conversation with Dr. Dan,
So
and
he was
he
okay.
was
Where'd you meet him out doing the volunteer work? Is that
actually I cold called him,
okay? I love it. I
and
love it.
he said, "Come on down to the Arlington campus of George
Yes.
Mason." I
Yes.
met with him there after one of his classes,
I love
and
that.
2.5 hours later,
You're like, I'm gonna sign up for a PhD.
I'm coming. I want to apply. And he said, please let's get this going because my background, I had done some work again,
Yeah.
citizen science work with oyster restoration
Yeah. You
out
already
in
knew
the
what you're
bay,
doing. You was doing. Yeah.
and it really worked well with what his lab was doing at the time. So I.
So you're getting involved. You're learning. You're a graduate student,
Mhm.
and really getting to be lit up more so by the sciences in the classroom. And then, so can you just tell a little bit before, and we'll talk about your alumni journey, but like
Sure.
how did you use that graduate experience to pivot into the industry, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
so
sure.
like you're as you know, you could have just got your doctorate in science, but then gone right back to business, or you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm not saying
Yeah.
you pigeonholed, but you had to transition to a new
Oh
sector.
sure.
So how did you use that doctorate to pivot?
Sure. So there was a little bit of a journey involved there. So it was translating my previous
Mm,
business
yeah,
experience into more of a science management
yeah,
perspective.
yes,
Employers were, I think, a little bit unsure, like how
yeah,
I didn't really fit the mold. I had a
yes,
lot of work experience, but I was really,
yeah.
recently graduated with a degree that was very different from
This,
my
yes,
prior work
yes.
experience. So I used actually here as being an instructor here, being an
Okay, yep.
adjunct in the faculty
That
to try
instructional
to
experience, yes.
in instructional experience again, kind of reapplying the things that I had learned in the classroom and out in the
Hmm.
field in my own research and applying it to a teaching environment that probably resonates with you
Yeah,
in
yeah,
communications. And that was then the pivot then to
Perfect. Yeah.
employment in the environmental sciences area where I am today.
Got
So,
it. Yeah.
yeah, so it was a little bit of a 1-2 step
Well,
process
I
going on.
said that, I'm gonna work on this editing and send this out. So I know next week this will be great. Probably regurgitated stories for next week's grad career conference,
I'm
where you're gonna share your
super
journey.
happy to be a
Yeah,
part of that panel.
yeah. So
Thank
I
you.
think
Yeah.
good. Now I know I got the best guest on there, the panelists. So let's go to the alumni journey.
Sure.
We're both alum.
Mhm.
I'll say,
Go Patriots.
yeah, go Patriots. Which I get flack for because I sometimes rep George Mason more than my undergrad. But I would say it took a while. Like I graduated in 2012, and
Mhm.
I think I didn't start really feeling a part of the alumni community till I worked here in 2017. So
Oh,
that
okay.
5 year gap, and then by working here, then I started getting involved. What was your journey of getting involved as an alum?
Maybe a little bit of the same,
Yeah.
but I was looking at the time after I graduated in 2015 with
Okay.
my PhD. I again had to do that little bit of 1-2 step in order to
Yeah.
focus on again
Pivoting to the right
pivoting
place.
to
Yeah.
environmental science, which I did. But actually, it was a little bit out of the blue. I
Good.
found an email in my
Okay.
inbox
Okay.
from the College of Science, the alumni community there, and
Okay.
they just put out a call and said, is anyone interested in helping out or being a volunteer with some of our alumni engagement?" I'm like,
Okay.
huh. I now have a little bit of time in my life. I wasn't going to school
Yeah.
and then at the I finished all
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
studies and things like that and graduated. So I'm like, yeah, I'd like to try to give back to Mason. It was a time that I wanted to be a part of the community, but not so much, as a student because I had left
Yes.
those, the student life behind me and but I wanted to stay engaged with Mason. Mason has I think we were talking earlier about all the wonderful resources and
Yeah.
working full time and being a student didn't afford me the chance to
Really
actually
tap
really
in.
tap into that
Yeah.
and go to and be a part of that those more the community aspects. So in a sense I'm kind of getting that what I didn't always get when I was a student, and that was not for a lack of wanting, it was really a lack of time. So
So okay, so like and I don't want to. This is where I'm working on like more shared. This is your experience, your
sure,
journey,
no,
but
no,
like
no, I love
now,
talking, I love
yeah.
hearing about
So
your
like
background too.
I would say one of my first tail ends was um, when I started working here,
Mm.
and then around I believe 2019, I was a recipient of the Black 40 under 40
Oh,
George
congratulations,
Mason Black.
yeah.
And then
Good
after that,
award.
I got on the Black Alumni Board
Okay,
because of the
sure,
visibility and meeting people. And shout out to, Brother David Atkins. He's a fraternity brother of mine. He was like, should
excellent.
be on that. And so that was my tail end, the Black Alumni chapter. And then I started doing more stuff and then started getting involved. My quick story is that when I looked at the website, I used to see every other chapter had a president, 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 and then it had like a avatar vacant for college education.
Oh
And
no,
then
yeah. So
so I
you
reached
could
out to Christine Landau, figured out, and then come to find out
how did
the gentleman that had it for a long time passed away during COVID,
oh,
but he didn't have no whole board. It was him solo.
solo. Okay.
So then reached out to TA.
Sure.
He connected, and TA was like, "I'll be the president first,
And
and then you could be." So I had 2 years being on TA's board
mm-hmm.
to watch being
This
with the
being part
president. So what was your
well,
journey with
journey,
that, with the
yeah.
volunteering part? What was that
Actually,
like? That
probably a little bit similar.
yeah.
I joined an established board,
Which
it's
one?
College of Science.
The whole board. Okay, got you.
I just as a just I
Yeah,
just kind of like well
observing. Yeah,
like I'm here to help.
yeah, yes,
I'm volunteering my time,
yeah,
and met the president at the time was Mark Monson.
yes. Okay, yeah,
Mark,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
still very active
On
in our
that big one, the big
chapter
one. Yeah, yeah.
and the found George Mason University Foundation.
Oh,
He's
that's right.
very
That's not.
part.
Yeah.
He's a part of that as well, and I just started participating in the meetings
Yeah.
really
Okay.
as a member,
Yep.
and this was during COVID now,
See,
so a little bit, so we
same
were
time.
all
Okay.
remote and doing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole Zoom thing and trying to
yeah,
get used to, life, and through
yeah,
isolation. And we were looking, the chapter was looking for some ideas. Like, does anybody have any ideas for what we could pursue as an activity
yeah.
for our chapter, we are constrained right now because of COVID and we're
Mm-hmm.
all, isolated. And I raised my hand and said, hey, I think we should have a mentor program for
Mm,
our students. And he's like, well, that's a great idea. So we developed, Mark and others on the board at the
mm.
time, we developed the idea with the office,
Alumni
and
relations. Yeah.
alumni relations
Yeah.
in the dean's office. And today we have a working mentor program for College of Science students.
Will they get matched one on one? Can you
They get
explain that?
matched one on one.
Okay.
Audrey Kelleher was
Yes.
instrumental
Yep.
in guiding us and trying to figure out the mechanics of putting together mentor programs. She had prior experience
Yep.
implementing a program at another university, so she brought her expertise from that program experience to here, and then we developed and we tailored it to what we thought would
Mm-hmm.
the College of Science students needed at the time, and we actually kickstarted it first in more of a virtual format, and then
Okay.
grew it into an in-person format that where we have it today.
So how would both ends? How do both ends get involved? Like how would the alumni get involved
How
to be
the
mentored, and
Sure.
how do students get
Yeah,
involved to get
so
mentored?
both sides have
Yeah.
an application process,
Okay.
and then there is a matching process.
And that
And
application is going to be on the College of Science website.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
actually, we just went through the application process for the
Yeah.
spring semester. So we're in the process of doing the matches right now.
I love it. So is it?
Yeah.
What is the time? So I love mentorship.
Sure.
So is the mentorship? You get a mentor for 1 semester or 1 year? How's this work? How's
It's
that dynamic work?
established for a semester at a
Yep.
time.
Yep. Yep.
But with the open ended, if the mentor and the mentee would like to continue the
I
relationship,
love
they
that.
are by all means, they can certainly do so. The mentorship program provides the foundation and the guidance on how to get that started with the two
I might
individuals.
have to jock that idea. I love
Yeah, it
mentor.
is just
I might.
phenomenal.
I mean, I might have to
Yeah.
start on the grassroots level and start
Please.
small because
Yeah,
I'm
it's
assuming you're like we're gonna touch all students, but at least like 12 students get 12 mentors. At
yeah,
least
we
you can
started
scale
small.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, we have about 30 or so students involved
Okay.
now,
Wow.
with alumni associated with that as
About
well. So it's not
a
a
1-to-1 ratio. So we
yeah,
got about 30 alum that
yeah,
would sign up.
it's not
Okay.
a huge
No.
program by, like in comparison to
No.
other programs that we
No.
do, but it has a lot of meaning. And I will tell you as an alumni, it's super powerful
Yes.
for alumni as a means to re-engage with their college.
Yeah, and they feel
Uh,
like they can do
they can
something.
do something,
Yeah.
yeah. We always like to have that avenue available for our alumni in order to participate in doing something meaningful for the current students right
Now,
now.
how do you, as you come out of COVID, is there any in-person engagement, like a reception or anything like that? Or
We usually have a kickoff
yes,
program where we bring in mentors that are able to come to campus.
yes, I
Some of
love
our
that.
mentors are in different parts of the country
Right,
or
and it,
global
yeah,
in some instances, and then some of our students again can come in based on class schedules or whatever. And we meet together to start the foundation of the
I
program, and
love it.
from there we do the matching. That's usually done off, not in a in person setting, and
Right,
then from
right.
there it launches. We haven't developed an
End of the year reception,
end of the
but you
year
got the kickoff one. That's
we
great.
do, yeah, and it's our goal to try to have a little bit more, formality to the program. But for now, it's been working really well, and I think something that came out of the COVID experience
Yes.
is certainly, noteworthy of itself. That still has an
Yeah, I
enduring
love it.
role in our alumni community
Well,
at
I'm
College of
assuming
Science.
that
Yeah.
because you helped start it, you have to have one. So you have a couple mentees, or uh,
I've had one in particular she was a undergraduate student at the time, and she we established our working relationship, and then she said, well, actually, I have a semester abroad, going to Australia. And so she said, I don't know what to do, in terms of like keeping the working. I said, that's okay. That's fine. I work with colleagues who have
mhm,
offices
yeah,
in Sydney and elsewhere in Australia, and
I
I'd be
love that.
happy to,
Zoom you and team
and
shift.
that we did,
I
and
love
we
that.
continued the mentoring
I
relationship
love
from
that.
there.
I
So
love that.
yeah.
So, uh, I'm assuming timeline wise, so 15, you're getting involved. When was you got the tap on the shoulder to be the president?
Oh, okay. Well, I won't say it's a tap on the
Well, you
shoulder,
know how it
but
is. I
yeah.
mean, I always think my biggest phrase is accidental leadership. I know
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for this. You know,
I
I
wasn't
like honestly, I looked on the website and I thought, oh, why is every other chapter got a president? Where's ours?
right.
And then before you know it, I'm on an email thread, and then before you know it, TA's like you're after. You know, like
Yeah, it just
you
sort of
don't. It just
happens.
sort of happens. So yeah,
Yeah, so I was a member at large of the chapter for a number of
yeah,
years, like 3 or 4 years. I
yeah,
don't I kind of lost
yeah.
count there for a while,
COVID made me lose count
and
too. Yeah,
at in our last iteration of our election cycle, we had folks that were wanting to participate, but no one was raising their hand to be the
that's
president.
always happens.
So
Always.
Mark Monson had decided that he wanted to step aside, and
Yeah.
he had been in the president role for a number of years, probably similar to your experience with college education,
Yeah, it's the one person.
and the one person like
Yeah.
I need it's been fulfilling. I need to do other things, and very respectful of that decision. So I said, well, okay, well I'll raise my
Mine
hand,
raised my hand.
and
Yeah.
it's been great. I'm coming towards the end of my second year here.
Hold up.
This
How long is your terms?
2-year terms. Yeah.
Second year. So hold
Yeah.
up. You started in 24.
Uh-huh, I did.
So you're almost done too?
I'm almost done,
Oh, I
yeah.
thought we had a. Okay, so Kevin's almost done as well.
Yeah, he's our another colleague of ours,
Yeah,
in
co
the
four. So
yeah,
Kevin,
mhm,
he's almost done for School of Business.
right.
Is Sean almost done?
I don't
I don't
know, I
know. I'm
recall.
like the only one that's got like
You're the newbie on the
a
block.
newbie on the block. Yeah.
No,
So
I don't
I thought,
consider.
okay, I thought that was because I was about to ask like, what is it like to be the first year? But this is their second year.
That's
Yeah.
alright.
What was okay then? But anyway, what was like? Because I'll be honest, like, I did attend a few of the all alumni board meetings
Mhm,
while I was kind of mentored by TA,
sure.
and it wasn't really much different than any fraternity meeting. I know about minutes and all that stuff, but it still gave me a wider scope about George Mason, this whole world, alumni world that I know nothing like. Wow, I didn't know there was a foundation and separate to this and all that.
Right.
And but what was your first year like?
Yeah, similar discovery experience. Again, it opened up a brand new world of alumni from the College of Science
Yeah,
perspective. I did not know
yeah,
a lot of the folks that, when I first started working with the chapter as a volunteer.
yeah,
Mark was great. He introduced me to
mm,
the stakeholders, the
mm,
members of the chapter. He showed me the ropes.
mhm,
He encouraged me to figure out what it would take to put together the mentor program. That's how I got to know
okay,
Audrey
yes,
and
okay,
others in the alumni relations department, and really, so he showed me the ropes, and so I was,
hmm,
pretty, conversant in like the chapter itself. And
yeah,
then when the opportunity arose to be the president, we did have a little bit of a transition there, and he did make an introduction. So you and I sit on the meetings for GMUAA,
the whole one,
the
yeah.
whole one. So he gave me the introduction to that, and showed me how what that was all about before I really got started there.
And also like one of the things I've learned too is like now because of that I went to more engagements than I ever had. Like
Oh yeah.
going to the president's house. I'm like, oh wow, I'm at the president's house, or going to these celebration of distinctions. And do you ever? And I'll be honest, people say I still feel like I get the like Forrest Gump feeling like, what am I doing here? Like,
Right.
do you ever get that? Do you ever? Like, how
Yes,
did I
I
get
do.
in here?
Like,
How did I
how
get in
did this
here?
happen?
They're
Where did these
like,
come
what
from?
am I like sitting at the table? Like, what do you do for work? And like, I'm the CEO of a big company, and I I gave $1 million to the university. I'm like, hi, I'm Philip. I'm just happy to be here. Like, there's sometimes where I'm
Yeah.
like, there's a
I,
lot of bigger world
yeah.
with the advancement in alumni. I don't know. I
That
still feel that way. What
I
about
do
you?
too. When I
Okay,
first started
good.
walking the door at the president's home for some of the
Yeah,
celebrations or the holiday events that go
yeah,
on there, I like, the same thing here. I like introducing myself, and then you get the, like
yeah.
seeing all these people that are recognizing them as public dignitaries.
Yes, yeah,
And at some point in time, it's like, okay, I just gotta let go of all that. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm here to represent the College of Science alumni
That's it.
community. And
Yeah,
like you, we're education. I'm here,
yeah,
you're here to represent. So, I just like, uh, that's my role. And I'm happy to speak up, about the things that are going on in my
yeah,
college and what's
yeah.
of interest to the alumni in my college, and to seek engagement, to look for connections that would be meaningful for our community.
I'll be honest. That's why I came up with the unofficial mayor thing.
I think it's a
No,
tremendous
the reason
idea.
why I did that is because I felt like it would be a way to like kind of give me my fake persona,
Oh,
meaning
but
like puff up my chest. So
yeah, but
like
you do it so
no, so
well.
I'm like
You do
if
it
I
so
act like
well.
I know everybody, then I won't be intimidated.
Yeah.
I think the same thing. If I go to a room and I know a lot of people, it makes me feel like okay, I do belong in this room. So
Yeah.
like hey Phil, hey Phil, I'm like okay, good. It
Yeah.
makes sense that I'm in this room
You
rather
bring
than
the spirit of
rather
Mason
than
everywhere you go,
rather
even
than like why is
online.
this guy here?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so that's like it was like a more of a protective measure. So as you, what would be one thing? So now that I'm flipping, I'm probably going to ask the same question to Kevin. What would be some things that you would impart on me as someone that
Oh.
is doing alumni president stuff? Like I know it's a service role,
Hmm.
but what would be some lessons you would impart on someone that's new to that type of leadership in alumni spaces? Because this is the first time I've been a president.
Oh.
I've been a president of like an RSO or Toastmasters,
It's
which
well, it's a
makes sense,
community.
but not in
Yeah.
a. This is a different stakeholder space.
Okay,
So
it's it has stakeholder needs
yeah,
and you get you always want to keep a pulse on what's going on in your
yeah,
stakeholder community. I like to think of it as it's in part a champion role. So
okay,
it's the forward leaning role of what the College of Science is trying to achieve. So being in alignment with some of the research that's coming out of not so much in alignment, but like
ambassadorizing, yeah,
and promoting. Like
yeah,
one of the things I speak about when I engage with folks outside the George Mason community, like, do you know that George Mason University is an R1
yeah,
rated
yeah.
research
It does
institution?
double down on your
So
what you
that
know about
to
the
us is
university.
incredibly important. It gives us access to research and research dollars as well as research capacity. But beyond that, it's so there's part about champion. That's what I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the president role is about is promoting the
The
College of
college,
Science alum, and
yep,
also to engage with our alumni to return like what can you do to
yeah,
contribute back. And I'm not speaking this of dollars
yeah,
here. I'm
yeah,
mean
yeah.
like
Time, talent,
role
treasure, yeah,
modeling
yeah.
what you did in order to overcome a battle or
I love that.
a point in time in your career or your experiences in the sciences. What can you tell current Mason students? You get that mentorship kind of flavor
Yeah,
coming through here.
yeah,
But also the flip side is like there's administration. So it's having regular meetings.
yes.
It's ensuring that our
Consistency,
board,
yeah.
stays on top of the things that we're trying to do, like set goals,
Mm-hmm.
set a schedule,
Mm-hmm.
enabling things to move forward, even if they're small incremental steps. I think it enables the chapter itself to continue on in a forward manner to help the alumni at large.
It's funny. The only thing like I say I have goals, but the one that leads for me is that I don't want it to have that avatar vacant again.
No.
That's it, and that's the
Yeah.
only. When I say that, it's like
Yeah.
that's my main thing. Is like set up things or put others in place or
Yeah.
have a board structure that
There's
something beyond me, and that's all. That's
yeah.
like all I'm focused on, and
Totally
so
agree.
it's almost like I'm already preparing to roll off. Like
Yeah, you want
that mindset.
you,
But I don't want that. That's
you
the
don't
main
want that empty
empty spot, and
slot.
that's the main thing I'm
Yeah.
thinking about for
Because
alumni trip.
then the lines of communication
Yeah,
from the alumni to the college are adrift. There's
yeah,
no they don't know who to contact, and then there's
mm,
that spirit of community is
yeah.
wanes over time, and I think the continuity aspect is very much a part of our roles.
And then
Ensure that goes
another thing
on.
I thought about too is like I love what you say, like being an ambassador to the college, is that I've now started to like be more. I read my Mason magazine, Mason Spirit.
Yes,
I
indeed.
actually read it more often now
Yeah.
because like I used to be like okay whatever,
What?
but I feel like
You recognize some of the names and
yeah,
yeah,
now
you
I recognize the
connect.
names, but I
Yeah.
feel like now I'm like, I to be a good ambassador, I'd be reading. That's what
Uh-huh.
we saw the young lady in the elevator.
Right.
I'd like make sure I know what's going on so I can
Exactly.
just be plugged in and say,
Yeah.
oh, that
The
research or I know you done like was it the College of Science did like Science Next, Space Next or something like that.
Space Day. We had
Space
Space
Day,
Day last fall.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like all
So
these
I,
things you got to know
yeah,
about.
yeah,
So
to connect with like other people in other parts of the university or
yeah,
outside the university that don't, consume our media, that
yeah.
we are then a conduit so that that information gets out beyond the walls of Mason.
So there's another tip time. What would you say to someone like either me or someone that's involved to learn and just kind of keep your finger on the pulse of College of Science per se?
College, well, I would start with our flagship signature series, which is Mason Science Series.
Oh, okay, what's that?
It is public free. It is completely free. We have one in the fall and one in the spring
Okay,
where
yeah,
we showcase something
yeah.
that is about Mason science. So
Uh,
it is the format is a converse. It's like a fireside chat with the dean of the college,
okay, Cody.
Cody Edwards,
Yeah.
and someone from faculty from the College of Science to promote some aspect of their research. So this spring, actually this month, we're going to be having our next Mason Science series on the Virginia Climate Action Plan.
I
Yeah,
love it. Well, one is
yeah,
big because it's about climate and what's
yeah.
going on in policy.
First time
So is
ever.
it a
Yeah.
show? What is it?
It is it's a fireside chat. We
Yeah.
hold it off campus,
Oh
actually
wow.
down the road from Fairfax campus
Yeah.
at the country club that's off of 123.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
do that not to be at the
But
country
the country.
club, yeah, but actually one of the barriers that we found in polling our alumni is parking. Being able
100%. Yep.
being able to access
Yeah. It's
the
real.
Mason
Yeah.
campus
Yeah.
can be a little challenging. So ample parking, very close to campus, great facility where we can bring the GMU TV crew in.
Yeah.
They
Mason
do a
TV.
live
Yeah.
feed.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have it up on the channel. I don't know, which channel it is here on campus.
They right. Yeah.
And
There's
they,
GMUTV. You can go.com, and
yeah,
when they do that, you can stream it. So
stream
so
it,
there is a broadcast
broadcast, and
opportunity for that.
it's
Wow.
recorded on YouTube, and it's Cody Edwards talking to
I love that.
a researcher, a scientist here in the College of Science about their research, and he does a little bit of a Q&A, and they give
I
a
love
little
that.
presentation, again open to the wide public. We get people from all areas of the community.
Tune in then.
Please do. It is we're very proud of that, and the alumni chapter is a sponsor of that event.
Love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So besides that, I love that. What as you really got some remarkable things. Now we're gonna say that the mentorship thing is yours and all. But what is
Yeah.
another accomplishment or something you're really proud of during your time as chapter president of College of Science?
I want to say that, one of the things that in small increments, we've gotten a little bit closer to GMUAA. So being able to tap on into the amazing resources that the larger University Alumni Association affords to all of our chapters.
Yeah.
Either through financial, like small grants, so it's like the things like we can do to sponsor the Mason Science Series, or just expertise and then access. So Stephanie Zimmerman, who is one of the VPs in the GMUAA, I connected with her in order to do a co-event with students as well as the alumni chapter. Last year, one of our vice president of our chapter, Ida Kanduri, she's a dentist by professional training, and we did a sponsorship of making sure that like healthy oral health, like what are some impacts about not having good oral health, and we followed that up with working with Stephanie in order to engage directly with the student community. I think that I'd like to say that we've been able to get a lot closer to GMUAA during my tenure as president.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the part of the show. I know you got a busy schedule called Shot for Shot. You get to ask me any random question. I get to ask you any random question. When you go first, I go first.
Okay. Favorite animal.
Favorite animal. Oh man, I'm gonna go with generically a dog. No, actually.
Dog. Okay.
Yeah, a dog.
Yeah,
a dog. I had a dog. My dog Noli Bully passed away, but I think dogs are just by personality. Good companions, loyal.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get some really funny dogs. I like dogs. I'm a dog person, so I'm not gonna get a dog now. I had a dog for like 16 years. My dog from college that grew up, with us.
You.
But I think we're gonna be an empty nester dog. So when my boys go to college, I'm getting another dog because I'm a dog person.
I totally
and
agree.
if he was in a debate, dog versus cat, I'm getting a dog.
Totally agree.
I'm a dog person. I love dogs.
Yeah, my dog passed away in the fall, so completely understand.
Are you gonna get another one?
I'm taking a little bit of break.
Me too. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
One is I can't even go in shelters.
Yeah, it's
because I'm about to leave with one.
That's exactly what happened to me.
I did it once.
Yeah.
Well, the way I got my dog was that I went into a shelter in Richmond. I'm a broke college student. I should have no business buying a dog. I had like $100 in my bank account. It was in Richmond, right? While my wife was at VCU, and we went in there, and I'd say it's like think about prison, right? where it was like hardened criminal, hardened criminal, hardened criminal, tax evasion, hardened criminal, because it was like pit bull, pit bull, pit bull, and then this random beagle, and then pit bull, the beagle was shaking. I was like, I want that one.
There you go.
And I got the beagle, and he's been
Meant
the
to
best dog.
be.
But like, yeah, I can't go. I can't go.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard.
I donated towels just recently.
Yeah.
Because we have extra towels.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there and we did a lap. I said, I can't donate towels ever again. Because I was going to give it a dog.
I same, exactly the same way. I just have to not be going into shelters because I know what will happen.
Now, this is a random question that I got for you. So this is a scenario question, and I always, because I am scared of space. So if the planet, we talk about climate change, if the planet was going to, implode
or something,
like Krypton, right? Like Superman.
Sure.
And they had an opportunity for you to go on the ark, to fly into space and reinvigorate society. Would you go in the spaceship or would you just ride it out on Earth?
Oh, I think I would venture off.
Yeah,
I think I would. Yeah. No,
why?
Why? I think that exploration, curiosity, what's out there on the next horizon. Yeah, no, I probably would do. Yeah,
no, I'm scared. I'm writing it out. I said in this scenario, I said I make sure my sons are the smartest, brightest, scientists. Like my son is really good at math. He gets on the ark. My other son, he will be a warrior. They need soldiers
to protect.
So so he's on the ship, and I say, good luck, y'all. And because I'm not going in space. Space scares me.
It's just another
expansive
area. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. How about this? What is more scary, space or water?
Oh, good question.
I think space is more scary than water.
In some aspects, water can be, equally challenging. Pressure underwater is a limiting factor in addition to having to bring all your life support systems with you, just as you do in space.
In space, yes.
And the other, there are other, So, equally challenging. Actually, a lot of our underwater world still is
undiscovered. I know.
Still yet to be explored.
But I think space, the unknown of space, is way more scary. And so, shout out. So we got a College of Science person that's gonna be on the Ark.
Okay.
I shout out you. I'm riding it out on Earth.
I listen to a lot of space podcasts, so I guess I'm
Well, I watch a lot of space shows, and that makes it worse.
Star Trek.
Yeah, it doesn't help me. It makes it worse. Like when I watch Star Wars, and they're talking about, would you be a fighter pilot?
Sure.
I'm like, no, because when the fighter pilot gets shot, where'd they go? Right? But if I was a ground soldier on the ground, at least I know I'm on the ground.
Okay.
So I would not be a fighter pilot, a space fighter pilot.
Okay.
I might be in a space station. Because that's still flying in space scares me.
Okay. All right. Well, there's all kinds of roles out there, not just for flying. Yeah.
I'm gonna be on the space station. I'm gonna be a janitor. Just clean up the floor. Stay still. I ain't going.
You're gonna be the mayor of the space station.
Stay still.
There you go. Yeah, but.
I love it.
Important role.
Thank you for entertaining my random thoughts of science, sci-fi, and space.
Absolutely. That's where we get great ideas,
Like I watched that. What's that one show? What's it called? Lost in Space with the family Robinson.
Yeah.
I'm not going. I'm on Earth.
Okay. What about you?
All Earth.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Team Earth. So this has been a great show. This is the part of the show called Shout Outs and Plugs. There's an opportunity to show love to anyone you want to show love to, and then plugs, things you want me to make sure I elevate to the Mason community. I'm already going to put in College of Science website, because I think that's great. But this is your platform. Shout outs and plugs.
Oh, shout outs and plugs. Wow. Okay. Well, first I'd like to shout out to you. Yeah, Philip, because you and I have had amazing conversations over the course of maybe about a year or so now, I'd say.
I've been on the board for a year.
Yeah. And connected with you on a number of topics. And I am in awe of your expertise when it comes to podcasts. I'll say podcast engineering. So I'm a novice. I've spoken with you about what it would take to get started with a podcast of my own, and I would love to just
you got it. You're gonna do one.
Be your mentee in that area.
Well, you never know. I might have to positively troll you too, like my boy didn't say. When's that podcast coming out? When's that podcast coming out? So
yeah, I'd also like to thank. Mark Munson for being a real mentor of mine through the alumni chapter process. Audrey Kelleher from Alumni Relations. Again for being really connecting well and showing a lot of support for our alumni chapter efforts. And I also want to say, with special thanks to Jen Robinson
Yes.
from GMUAA in her role as VP at George Mason University. A meaningful and dedicated connections and team
Yes.
organization. She and her team are very hardworking, and I don't think get the recognition that they truly deserve on a regular basis. So I just like to shout out to her
Well,
and her
they're
team.
very excited about it, and they make you excited about it too.
Yeah, absolutely,
Like,
and their events are flawless.
Yeah.
I went to the legislative event earlier this week, and it was just hands down.
And I went to
one
one
of the
last year. They
yeah,
always great. I'll just be happy to be here. They're so smooth.
just and again, great experiences. And I encourage all the alumni, if they've never been a part of any alumni event,
just drop in.
Try it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be also some last parting words is like when you look on those website, like showing up in the room, there's a lot of fun things, happy hours, things like that. Just show up one time and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
and just start.
It's like not that serious. And when I say it's not that serious, like everyone's just normal people.
Yeah.
Just like they're just normal people that love Mason.
And our connected bond is Mason and the Mason experience. Absolutely.
And so some things that you want, any resource you want to share, things that we should take a look at.
College of Science alumni website certainly is our main focal area for communicating information. If you're not getting our emails, please reach out to our on the website. There's a form to fill out to provide your updated contact information. If not that, at the GMUAA website as well, same thing. So please, if anything here on this podcast was of interest, we'd love to connect and learn and get you involved in our amazing alumni community here at Mason.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good Dr. Ryan.
Oh,
the space
thank you,
adventure.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call you the space princess from now on.
All right.
So Positive Filter listeners, thank you so much for listening to this episode. As you know, every episode is dedicated to the memory of my late father-in-law, Jeff Kirsch. And so please consider donating to the Jeff Kirsch Anti-Hunger Fund for all his work fighting food insecurity during his career. And then secondly, if you're part of the Mason Nation, please consider submitting a Pats for Patriots to show kindness. Kindness goes a long way, and so I put that in the show notes. Follow, like, subscribe, share this, but this has been a great episode, and thank you so much. Thank you for listening to Positive Filter, a podcast that focuses on family, friends, career, with a little self-help along the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends, and like the Facebook page, Spreading Positivity of Movement. Thanks for listening.